getting ready to go racing from the virtual Michigan Raceway. It's time for ENEA Farewell Series. One pace lap on offer tonight. Watching a more smoke at the front of this race. Rusty Walrus in the chat says, have fun tonight, guys. Thanks, Rusty. We will have a great time. All Odie following here in these last few seconds. Thank you, Odie. Appreciate you so very, very much. Let's get the starting lineup here as we try to get the car audio while we're at it. A more smoke on that front row to his outside. Stout Whiskey in that number 2 Discount Tire Ford. You've got ENEA Knockout streaming our laps for us tonight. Thank you, Knockout. Appreciate you, pal. Appreciate you so kindly, so very much. PTH, the GOAT, starting to his outside. Sir Brunson in the number 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to the inside. CGMX Rose, one of the contenders to win last week in the number 42. Ward Burton, Timmy Moore in car number 77 to the inside of C. Johnson in the number 32. TRT Rock in the number 1 Monster Chevrolet next to ENEA Hound Dog. Tenacious Z, Honestly You're Bad in the 13 and 4 combined. Pot Pie and Dip 9 in the number 10 Smithfield Ford next to NNR Trip. Can't forget LXTX in the number 43 Sunoco Camaro to the inside of the Real MT in the Energizer Chevrolet. Last week's winner, the Aviator, in car 48. There is ENEA Shotgun playing the role of pace car tonight with Dr. Bush in the chat, who says, good luck, boys. Peeling off, getting ready to start all 100 laps of competition. Tweeter Catchdog KFB at the back, a more smoke at the front. Green flag is out and we're racing at Michigan. Leading the first lap after green, it's a more smoke in the 5. ENEA Knockout in that second position, funneling down into the first corner, right to the outside of car number 2. That's Stout Whiskey in the Discount Tire Ford. Now running up to the outside, car number 18, the Interstate Batteries Camry. That's PTH the GOAT, one of the ENEA regulars ahead of car 42, CGMX Rose. Sir Brunson in that number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford to the outside of the number 1 Monster Energy car. Now drag race for the lead. Knockout to the outside of a more smoke. This for the first position, dueling side by side. Heavy competition plowing into one. Once again, big shout out to Dr. Bush. If you're just joining us, I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the ENEA Farewell Series, brought to you by di9Designs. Now watching ENEA Knockout in car 17 on the outside of Stout Whiskey in car number 2. Trying to get that draft down the front. 5 laps underway of 29 in this first stage. At the front, Chevy, Ford, 5-2-17. It's a more smoke in the 5. Now the 77 of Word Burton says, I want to play 2. To the inside of car 17, ENEA Knockout. Here comes Word in the Advent Health 77. Now down this back straight, 17 to the outside of car 18. We're going to get this audio fixed here as soon as possible. 5-2-77 on the outside line, headed into turn number 3. ENEA Knockout with the 4th position, but now the 18 Interstate Batteries Camry. That's PTH the GOAT, now fourth in line. Single file top 5 out of turn number 4, this time by 7 laps underway. We're almost a fourth of the way through stage number 1. Running into this third corner now, 18 to the inside of car 17. 2 wide, almost going 3 wide out of the fourth corner. Here comes PTH the GOAT now behind. Ward Burton in car 77. It's a drag race to the front. Pesky audio issues at the moment. We're going to get this sorted, no worries. Still running at the front of this race. PTH the GOAT in car number 18, now dragging behind that 77. Here's CGMX Rose, the number 42, Credit One Bank Chevy. He's on this outside line trying to draft up to the 17 of ENEA Knockout. The one of TRT gets right into his line. Now down this front straight, 8 laps complete, 9 underway. It'll be 20 to go in stage 1 next time around, and it hasn't been easy leading this race. Look at this, 3 wide for the 4th position. Now 3 wide for the 6th position, all behind them. It looks like a plate race out here. These drivers really going for it. At the front of this race, it's Ward Burton in car 77. He is your new leader. Stout Whiskey in car number 2, trying to side draft off the 17, get right in line. Honestly, you're bad in the number 4, Busch Light Ford to the inside of Stout Whiskey in the number 2, Discount Tire Mustang. A More Smoke, your pole sitter. Now second in line on the outside racing line. Big shout out to ENEA Shotgun once again playing our pace car. The Aviator, last week's winner at WWT in the number 48 Ally Chevrolet. Bit of a silver tint to it. He's looking to go 2 wins in a row. He's on the outside of car number 10. NNR Trip in the number 16 FOE Chevrolet, looking to do better than he did 1 week ago. 18 to go. This time by Honestly You're Bad in the number 4. Now gets around ENEA Knockout in the number 17. Sunny D Ford, and a big lag spike from the 18 of PTH the GOAT. Cars flying everywhere. Look at this, 4 and 5 wide down the back straight. Everyone struggling to get themselves together. Struggling still. The 32 of C. Johnson. The 4 of Honestly You're Bad. Just really holding on to their race cars for dear life. We stay green nonetheless. 17 to go next time by. Not what we're looking for in the slightest. There we are. Back to racing pictures as we try to figure out these sound settings. ENEA Shotgun says, good racing so far, guys. Thank you, Shotgun. If you've just recently joined us, this is the ENEA Farewell Series on NASCAR Heat 5, brought to you by di9Designs. Honestly, You're Bad in the number 4 after recently getting into a scrape, trying to recover his race car. The number 13, Geico Military Chevy of Tenacious Z, now getting around NNR Trip in the 16. Looking at ENEA Hound Dog in the number 3. Bass Pro Shops Chevy. That outside line has many more cars than the inside line. but now it's the 2 and the 5 dueling at the front. 15 to go next time by. Ward Burton in the 77. Will he go 3 wide for position? Yes. The 42 of CGMX Rose on the inside. PTH the GOAT, who just recently had a massive lag spike, nearly causing a huge accident down this back straight, struggling to get towards that front. But at the front of this race, car 2, car 5, side by side, and now the lead once again going to car 5. A more smoke. Stout Whiskey on the outside, cars piling up. There's no more racing room, but somehow they escape calamity. 3 and 4 wide down the front straight. 14 laps to go in stage 1. Stout Whiskey to the inside, now losing all that ground. He's got the 48 of the Aviator now up his inside line. A more smoke leading this race. He's got the 10 right behind him. Here comes that Smithfield Ford to the inside. Challenge for the lead into turn number 3. Scrolling through the field, now riding along with the Challenger on the inside. Pot Pie and Dip losing that momentum on the Smithfield Ford. ENEA Knockout now trying to draft around to the outside, almost 2 by 2 out of 2. Single file up the inside line. Chevy, Ford, Toyota, your top 3. Now the 17 of ENEA Knockout coming on the high side, trying to solidify third place, but the 18 says no, coming back up to that 18 car. There's PTH the GOAT, 4th in line, riding along with the Interstate Batteries Camry. Five, 10, 17, Chevrolet, Ford, but now here comes the green Camry, trying to hulk his way up into the podium positions. Now the 17 going well to the inside line, following the 10 is Pot Pie and Dip trying to break that draft. Ward Burton now catches a whiff of the draft coming off of car 18, and now we're going to have a single file party for the lead at the front, and pit stops are now commencing. Cars way too fast coming down pit road, and possibly some penalties coming. The 6 of that looked like Sir Brunson in the number 6 that went for a ride in the Oscar Mayer car. It will be 10 to go next time around. Some cars pitting, some not. A more smoke hangs on to that lead. He's got the 77 of Ward Burton and Stout Whiskey behind him. Ten to go in this first stage. 577 to your top 3, but now here comes last week's winner, the Aviator in car 48. He wants a piece of this lead before he gets to his pit stop, but now we have the have and the have-nots. Those with fresh tires and those without. One-handed Baron says, have a great stream, great racing. You too, buddy. Good luck tonight with your stream on the iRacing side. Chevy, Ford, your top 3. The leaders still do not yield. Will they be able to go this distance? We're going to learn a lot about fuel mileage in this first stage, and already we've got more takers coming down pit road. CGMX Rose in the 42. Last week's winner, the Aviator in car 48. Here come the leaders, now coming down pit road, the 5, the 2, and the 77. There goes the 3 of Hound Dog, struggling to get his race car pointed in the right direction upon pit road entrance. The looked like the 16 of NNR Trip also coming with him. On the 4 of Honestly You're Bad coming down for tires and fuel. There's Hound Dog losing absurd amounts of time trying to get his car in. Now Tenacious Z in the number 13. Geico Military Chevrolet trying to make his way into pit road, but he's got company behind him. And the Geico Military Chevrolet now comes down pit road and will give up his lead as cars get their laps behind him at 187 plus miles per hour. 8 laps to go in this first stage. Your race leader, still the 13 of Tenacious Z. Heavy contact with the 5 car. What on earth is happening with the 5 of Amore Smoke? Scrolling back through this field wildly, there's Amore Smoke. Looks like he was making heavy contact with the 37 car. The Energizer Chevrolet now on the outside, coming to 7 laps to go. Stout Whiskey in the number 2 car, now being scored as your race leader. There is the 2 on an, well, I was going to say on an island by himself, but no, he came in with the 48, and now the 48 and the 42, the Aviator and CGMX Bros respectively, battling it out for this lead. 2, 48, 42, your top 3, Ford, Chevy, coming to 6 to go in the first stage. Fans, wherever you're watching, at the end of stage 1, we're going to take a 30-second break. That's going to allow us to be ad-free for the next 10 minutes and the start of stage number 2. That'll be in 5.5 laps, but we still have so much great racing to get through. 2, 48, 42, your top 3, coming to 5 to go. Just 10 more miles in this opening stage. It's going to be quite the draft game headed into these final 4 laps. Not a plate race where drivers are dependent on each other for passing, but that could be the case if the Aviator needs an extra boost from CGMX Rose behind him. CGMX Rose leading the point standings into this race. Honestly You're Bad, 6 points behind him. The 48 car of the Aviator missing round 1 but winning round 2. He's got a 12th place point standings, tied in the standings with NNR Trip. Your race leader, Stout Whiskey, sitting 6th in the point standings. Dr. Bush asks, how did they get so split up? He missed a few minutes. ENEA Shotgun says, pit stops. And yeah, the pit stops are that great divider, aren't they? But the great equalizer will be the stage finish. Drivers, still so much to play for. 3 laps to go, just 6 more miles in this first stage. The 2 car of Stout Whiskey trying to break the draft, trying to separate the pieces of this snake, but the 48 and the 42 remain stout in their attack on the top spot. Four miles is all that remains. You can see the 48 car still glued to the back end of car number 2. Talk about a great ending to stage number 1. 248, 42 your top three. The Discount Tire Ford leads the Ally Chevrolet by inches, and the Credit One Camaro sitting in the distance waiting for his opportunity. This time by 2 miles will remain in the opening stage, and have a look at the 2x2 action behind him. 48 getting a little loose out of turn number 4, and the white flag is out in stage number 1. Stout Whiskey. Will he be able to hold off the Aviator in that 48 car? Stout Whiskey dives it down way low. The Aviator messes up the entrance. 42 well underneath him. There goes Luis Zeiter now into second place, and he's going to get a great draft into turn 3. But the 2 car on an island by himself, was that missed turn 1 entrance all that the 2 car needed? Out of turn number 4, 29 up and 29 down. First stage is complete, and it will be Stout Whiskey winning stage number 1, CGMX Rose getting the win in stage number 2, and the Aviator, CGMX Rose finishing second, the Aviator finishing third. We're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back with the start of stage number 3. Back to racing in this third stage. At the front, leading is car number 2. Stout Whiskey up at the front. A More Smoke sitting in the second position. In third is the 10 of Pot Pie and Dip. First lap complete, and they're 3 wide for the second spot. Still some volume issues here that we're going to get sorted. Bear with us just a moment. 2, 5, 10 coming out of the corner. Now down the back straight, all single file, still trying to get themselves figured out. Heading now into turn number 3, still single file top 4, and the 17 of ENEA Knockout sitting in 6th behind the 42 of CGMX Rose. Now down this front straight, trying so hard to get any sort of advantage they can find. 27 laps will be the scheduled distance of stage number 2. 3 of those 27 laps now underway. And still with these audio problems, so we're going to get this sorted here. I appreciate your patience while we get all of this taken care of. If it's not one thing, it's another. Ford, Chevy, your top 3, and a bit of a mess at the back. Before we go without pictures, let's take a look. Let's do a real quick recap here. PTH, the GOAT in the 18. He's sitting in front of Sir Brunson in that number 6. Oscar Mayer Ford. CGMX Rose on the outside line, rocking the number 42 Credit One Bank Chevy. He's fighting with Pot Pie and Dip for the 4th position. At the front, though, you've got that 48 car of the Aviator making a challenge for the lead. There's Stout Whiskey trying to hold off a More Smoke. Smoke barely clears the 48, trying to get that inside line into turn 3, and having a look behind him now, the 42 of CGMX Rose and the 48 of the Aviator trying to split either line from the 5 car. Down the front straight, they're starting to get hairy. No audio there, so we're going to get this sorted here. We're going to ditch the picture for just one more time so we can at least get some sort of audio on these race cars. Back to live pictures at the virtual Michigan Raceway. 3 wide down the back straight, more smoke making contact. Cars flying everywhere. Headed into that third corner. We appreciate your patience while we try to get these audio issues worked out. Now down this front straight, the 5 of more smoke. Trying to get some draft on the outside line. It's so difficult finding your own line when everybody's jockeying for the same 2 lanes of racing. 20 to go in stage number 1. Cars crunching and trading paint down on the inside line in the third corner. That looks like the 24 that got out of shape, and there's the first caution of the day in stage number 2. Fans at home will take, pre-rolls are still off for the next 4 minutes. We're going to try and get these audio issues worked out once again. Getting ready to go racing now. The 2 car, the 17 cars, the 42 car side by side. Green flag is out in this second stage of racing once again. It'll be 16 to go. Just another 32 miles remain in stage number 2. Now into that first corner 2 with the 42 to the outside. 17 up the inside line. Everybody trying to draft for what little real estate there is left. Down the front, new leader in Stout Whiskey in car number 2, a more smoke to the inside and losing that ground. The 42 now to his outside of the 17 coming with him. The 10 car of Pot Pie and Dip also on the outside line, but a more smoke gets his mojo back, giving a bit of a tap to the 2 car. He's got a head full of steam and he's got a great draft coming up the inside line. Word Burton now with a tap to car number 5, the 42 of CGMX Rose, also on the outside. He also wants a piece of the action. Flying into that first corner now, 14 of 27 laps underway in this second stage. A more smoke to the outside, trying to get some advantage on the two of Stout Whiskey. 2x2, 2 rows deep, 3 rows deep. Now headed into the third corner. Look at this, 3 wide for third place. The 13 of Tenacious Z joins the fold, 3 wide for the lead briefly. And look at the mess behind him, 4 wide for third place. Coming down this front straight. What a racetrack Michigan is. Look at this, 4 wide for 5th, 6th, whatever position this is. These guys are brave indeed. The 17 of ENEA Knockout not giving an inch. That was the 3 of ENEA Hound Dog who had to give up space. But look at this. It looks like a plate race with how often they're going 3 wide. ENEA Knockout currently riding in the 9th position. Old Tweeter up ahead. And that's the 10th place car, the 16 of NNR Trip, the 18 of PTH the Goat, sliding back like a rock. He's in the vacuum hole, and with no traction, he is going back in a hurry. 16 laps underway, a dozen to go in the second stage. 2-5, your top 2. Stout Whiskey ahead of a more smoke in the 42 of CGMX Rose, looking on from third. Sebastian the Cat weighing his opinions in as well. Sebastian, who do you think is going to win the race? And how do you think they're going to do on tires and fuel, Seb? Good answer. Now down the front straight. Stout Whiskey in car number 2, just ahead of the 5 of a more smoke. 3 wide for second behind them, and they're not giving an inch. It's going to be 10 laps to go this time by. .42 on the outside now. That makes room for the 12 car of KFB 18. First time we've seen KFB in the top 10, let alone the top 3. And here he is fighting for a stage win. 20 miles remain in this second stanza of the ENEA Farewell Series. If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag racing, ENEA shotgun with an LOL. What'd I say, Shotty? 12 car ahead of the 42, 18 now coming up his inside line. Ford, Chevy, Ford, 9 at the line. One car in the grass behind him, 4 cars up the inside line, nobody out of place just yet. ENEA shotgun remains motionless on the inside, and we stay green. Old Tweeter in the 21 car has worked his way up to the 5th position. Now CGMX Rose to his outside. Catchdog in the 24, also in the top 10 once again. KFB staying put. A more smoke in second. Stout Whiskey in the lead, 8 to go this time around. $16 miles remain in this second stage, and so far so good at the front. Cars slowing down, and it looks like it is indeed a manual caution that's been called. A manual caution. So we're going to wind this stage down under green. But for now, race control has decided to throw the yellow flag out on the racetrack, and that gives us a great opportunity. We're going to take a 60-second break. We're going to sort these issues out, and we're going to get rolling again for the conclusion of stage number 2. Get up, stretch your legs, grab a snack, get something to drink. I'm going to do the same, and we'll be back to resume this amazing racing at Michigan. Getting ready to go, racing once again from Virtual Michigan. Stout Whiskey sitting right behind the pace car, getting ready to go. You can see the damage on the front of the 2 car, waiting for the pace car to peel off. Pace car's off. Listen for the acceleration. We're about to go racing one more time at Michigan. Green flag is out, and we're racing again. The second stage is back on. Sheet metal crunching, cars crashing out of the corner, everyone trying to find their place once more. Now the 18, lag spiking, there goes car number 12, PTH the GOAT, really getting in some drivers' ways. Now they're down the back straight, fighting for position, 3 wide for the lead into 3. PTH the GOAT with another lag spike in car 18, now coming down this front straight. Car number 2 on the outside of the 18, 3 wide for the lead, and a more smoke to the inside of PTH. The 2 of Stout Whiskey pinballing. There goes a more smoke. There goes PTH. Drag race to that line. 3 to go in stage 2. Next time by, but they're crashing into 1. Still green, and there is the caution that brings out the end of stage number 2. What a finish to that one. PTH the GOAT winning stage 2, a more smoke finishing second, the Aviator finishing third, 30-second break. Actually, no, we're ad-free for the next 16 minutes. I don't know what I'm talking about, but sit tight. What a crazy finish to stage 2. We're gonna get ready for stage 3 here in a little bit. What a race. Getting ready for more action in stage number 3. The final stage, the money stage. A more smoke to the outside of PTH the GOAT. Green flag is out, and this is going to settle it. 2x2 coming to the line, quickly fanning out. 42 laps to go in this race. Cars come to a grinding halt. Another yellow flag has come out after many of the leaders collide. There you can see the field broken up into bits. Damage on a lot of these race cars here. Old Tweeter, for the most part, okay. And there's ENEA Shotgun, who unfortunately is, well, no, he's just down pit road. No idea what he's doing there. But I guess the pace cars come down pit road. That's hilarious. Getting ready to go racing here. Sebastian the Cat, who do you think is going to win stage number 3 in the whole race? But how do you think the strategy is going to help them win? Great answer. Coming to the line once more, the 5 of a more smoke to the inside of the Aviator at the front of this race. With 38 laps to go, it's the 4 of Honestly You're Bad. Ward Burton on the outside line. C. Johnson in the second position there, ahead of LXTX. These drivers recently pitting the odd ones out, but they've put themselves in a position to win. Uncle Fry sharing 10 bits in the chat. Thank you, Fry Dog. Appreciate you, buddy. Love you so much. Glad to have you here. Sit back and enjoy the last 35 laps of action in round 3 of the Farewell Series. Fans all over the place cheering these drivers on, and listen to that crowd go wild. Fans cheering on their favorite drivers in these closing laps. The 32 of C. Johnson still staying put to the outside. Now the 17 up his inside the 18 car. That's PTH the GOAT. Right behind him, Frydog says cool, looks intense, and talk about an intense race so far. This is what the view looks like behind him. ENEA Hound Dog in car number 3, biding his time, waiting out the storm. Honestly You're Bad briefly leading for a few laps. It'll be 34 to go. Next time by, the 4 car trying to get into the 4th position. PTH the GOAT won't let him. Coming into this race, Honestly You're Bad sitting second in the points, only 6 digits behind CGMX Rose, but this finish here won't do well for him unless it's on the podium. Into the first corner, there goes the 4 car being muscled out of the way. Bit of a tap from the 12 of KFB 18, and now Honestly You're Bad goes worse, trying to block the 43 of LXTX, forcing the Sunoco Chevrolet to wiggle and struggle down that front straight. The 10 of Pot Pie and Dip was as recently as the end of stage 2 fighting for that lead, but now so much time to make up. At the front, the Aviator right behind the 5 car of Amore Smoke. Ward Burton in the 77 makes it an all Chevy podium so far. $5.48.77 your top 3. 68 laps complete this time by. It's been an incredibly nice race for Amore Smoke. The Aviator looking to get 2 wins in a row. The 77 of Ward Burton, he wants a piece of the limelight. Coming into this race, Ward Burton sits 10th in points with just 5 races remaining. It is go time for any of the drivers not currently contesting for the title. Fans going wild for these cars one more time. The Aviator spilling off the track well to the inside. Concern all over the place. 4 car 48. The 2 of Stout Whiskey now to the inside, almost making it 3 wide for the lead. ENEA knockout in that number 17, Sonny D. Ford to the outside. C. Johnson, new leader briefly as he's just edging Stout Whiskey into 2. Out of 2, Ford lockout of row number 1, and it looks like a pace lap, 69 laps into this race. Look at this, 3 wide and then some for first place. brave driving with 30 laps to go now. Still, so much at stake for these drivers, and so much could go wrong. Down the back straight now, the two of Stout Whiskey, your new leader, headed into the fourth corner. Aviator challenging on the outside line, but he can't forget that a More Smoke is right beneath him. The 77 of Word Burton now third in line up that inside rail. The 17 now joining the inside train. 577-17. Now here comes the 13 of Tenacious Z, and it's a familiar face in the number 42 Credit One Chevrolet. CGMX Rose now making his way to the front. An insane amount of speed. If you've never been to Michigan Speedway, you've got to experience the real deal. But this is as intense as it gets inside these final 30 circuits. 73 laps now complete. The two of Stout Whiskey still leading this race, but by no margin at all, catching back up to the top three. There's a More Smoke in the second position. Word Burton behind him with the 17 of ENEA Knockout to his outside, and the 42 slowly filling in the shadows behind him. A More Smoke with a bump to the two of Stout Whiskey, giving him an advantage into three. ENEA Knockout on the outside line trying to grab the spot, and welcome to the chat, Mama Vols. She says, hey, Rick and gang. Mama Vols, glad to have you here. One of the many celebrities we've had in the chat today, among Rusty Wallace, Dr. Bush, ENEA Shotgun, One-Handed Baron, and Uncle Fry as the 17 gets into the wall and cars are spilling behind him. He goes for a spill up the inside line. ENEA Knockout seemingly dumped down the front straight. No yellow flag. We will stay green, coming to 25 laps to go, and an unbelievable, upsetting turn of events. The 17 of ENEA Knockout seemingly out of this race. And T. Lockhart in the chat says, hate to see it for the 17. Stout Whiskey slowing down, and it looks like that's going to be a manual caution, our third yellow flag of the evening. We get another chance to catch our breaths. How about this racing? Caution is going to be out on the racetrack with 25 laps to go, so we'll be restarting inside the final 23 laps. Get up, stretch your legs, grab a snack and a drink, because the fireworks are only starting. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of stage number 3. Everybody filing out of pit lane. There's the procession. 277, your top two coming to the line. This is going to be nuts. If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the ENEA Farewell Series, brought to you by di9Designs. Stout Whiskey in the lead. It looks like they're getting ready to line up 2 by 2. And there they are, ENEA Shotgun playing the role of pace car tonight. We appreciate you, Shotty. Thank you so much for filling in once again. Everybody looks like they're lined up and ready to go, coming to this line. 78 laps will be underway. It'll be 23 laps remaining. Stout Whiskey to the inside, Word Burton to the outside. ENEA Shotgun still in the 20th position, but on the lead lap. Green flag is out, and it's 23 to go in the Irish Hills. Cars spreading out all over the place, trying to find a place of belonging with the laps winding down. 21 to go next time by. Stout Whiskey at the front of this race. More smoke just behind him. There's the number 2 Discount Tire Ford with the Maytag Mustang of KFB 18 trying to follow him down the straight, but it's the Advent Health Chevy of Word Burton now occupying the second position. Fans going wild for this battle at the front. Fans cheering on their drivers at all costs. Now into turn number 2, it's the 12 Maytag Mustang KFB 18, your new leader. 20 to go this time by. CGMX Rose, Honestly You're Bad, and PTH the GOAT, your top 3 coming into this race. KFB 4th in the points standings. 20 to go, and was he waiting this entire time to get to the front and keep it? Ford, Toyota, Ford, 2-0 to go. Look at that hornet's nest behind them. These drivers really giving it their all. Down this back straight, the 12 still leads the 18 and the 2 behind him. Single file, top 4 cars, but behind them, it's just mayhem. Everyone trying to figure out their position inside the final 20 laps. "17 laps to go, this time by. The 2 car of Stout Whiskey falling off the pace. PTH the GOAT sitting comfortably in the second position. Word Burton trying to formulate some sort of drafting plan. Are the 2 and the 77 just holding back? Then the 37 Energizer Chevrolet now playing into this as well. Ward Burton looking to hold his spot on the inside line, but he's got TRT and Honestly You're Bad filling his mirror. These drivers have to be careful, but they have to be fast. 84 laps underway and 16 to go next time by. $15 left at the line. Drivers still jockeying for position, and there is no break in this action. ENEA Hound Dog coming up from the back. The Military Geico Chevrolet of Tenacious Z looking for a top 10 finish tonight. Honestly You're Bad led laps in stage 1, but does he have anything left in this race car? At the front, there's a wreck behind him, cars sliding everywhere, flying into the air. This will undoubtedly bring out the yellow flag, and it does bring out the caution. We're ad-free for the next 18 minutes, so we will stay with these drivers, but we're going to be restarting inside the final 14 laps of action. There's last week's winner, the Aviator. Does he have enough to make it 2 wins in a row? 20 seconds to green. What are you made of now? No more gambling. It's all or nothing. KFB 18 at the front with the 18 to his outside. PTH the GOAT wants a piece of this win. Green flag is out. Let's do it. $11 laps to go. Next time by 12, 2, 4 up the inside. All Fords on the low line. Now down the back straight. 18 getting some momentum. The 4 of Honestly You're Bad squeezing the 2 and keeping him down on the inside. 3 wide for second place, but that's nothing new. Who's going to get this lead? Honestly You're Bad up the inside on the outside of Stout Whiskey with Pot Pie and Dip behind them in car number 10. 4, 18, middle on the high side as well. The 77 of Ward Burton trapped. He can't make a move. 10 to go next time around. 12 to 10 on the inside line. ENEA Knockout in the Sunny D Mustang on the outside, trying to find a draft partner. Your pole sitter, A More Smoke, currently outside the top 5. KFB 18 ahead of that 2 car, Stout Whiskey. Stout has done an enormous job leading the majority of laps tonight, but will he lead the all-important final lap? 20 miles remain. A More Smoke entering turn 1 extremely high. Now the 12 has a decision to make. Who to block? The 2 behind him. 4 on the outside. He's trying to take Honestly with him, but now listing lazily to the left to block the path of the 2. Last week's winner, the Aviator in car 48, now makes it up to the top 5. He's 3rd on the inside line. KFB blocking the 2. 9 at the line. Everybody choosing that inside line and no momentum on the high side. Extending a bit of a gap out of the second corner, going high to block the 2 of Stout Whiskey, but now enter the Aviator coming into this race. 12th in points, but he's 1 for 1 in the Farewell Series. First start last week, first win last week. Fourth in line up the inside, but now here comes Ward Burton with no momentum and help on the outside line. But the 77 with a head full of steam carried in from turn 3. He will lead the lap with 8 laps to go. The Aviator choosing his Chevrolet compatriot on the high side. 3 Fords on the inside, 3 Chevrolets on the outside, and it's back to the pace lap at 180 plus. One car going haywire down the back straight, but we stay green. Single file once again at the front, but for how long? Caution is out as the Fords fill the podium position. 8 to go with this yellow flag, and hold on now, because here comes a restart with 6 or fewer to go. All the tires, all the fuel strategy now flying out that window faster than you can say Michigan. 15 seconds to the green flag. Don't go anywhere. Dr. Bush says gonna get crazy here. I love it. I love it too. If you've recently joined us, I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag action, and now here comes the final laps. The 24 to the inside of the 2. Stout Whiskey gets a great jump on the outside of Catch. Crossing the line. Chevy Ford split the front row and its blue ovals all the way down. 3 to go next time by. Dr. Bush says, bet that won't be the last caution. Let's find out. Catch on the inside. There goes the 12 of KFB trying to force his way up the middle. No dice. The 4 of Honestly You're Bad carrying that aggressive racing style from WWT last week to this week. Ward Burton with a push to the 4. 2 to go. This time by. 3 wide for second, and the 24 in the vacuum hole, sliding down the back with no draft partners. 4 miles remains. Honestly You're Bad on the outside line. The 2 of Stout Whiskey getting some encouragement from KFB in the 12. The Busch Light Ford to the outside of the Discount Tire Mustang. Momentum for the 4. Draft help for the 2. Here comes Ward Burton in the 77. Lag spike from the 2. His draft help nowhere to be found. The 4 with a big burst from the 77. White flag is out. This time by. Honestly You're Bad. Will he clear Stout Whiskey out of 4? He does. Does he block the inside line? No. Here comes a push from the 77. All momentum on the inside line. Honestly You're Bad trying to cut in front of the 12. He makes contact with the 2 on the final lap. Is he insane? 206 into 1. What a dangerous move for car number 4, but he's still in third. Down this back straight. 277.18 down the back line. Snaking, looking like the last lap at Indianapolis. 77 of Ward Burton pushes the 2. The 12 of KFB 18 remains in third. PTH the GOAT in the 18 car sits 4th in line. It'll be a drag race if he can manage the draft. Stout Whiskey to the outside. Ward Burton behind him. Lag spike from the 77, and that's enough. Stout Whiskey will win round 3 at Michigan International Speedway. No, this is the final lap. I've gone crazy. This is the final lap. Hold on one more time. Unbelievable finish. 277.18 behind him. One more chance. 77 to the outside. What is TRT doing on the racing surface? Gets back down to the inside. 3 wide briefly into 1. 2 now has the slow line on the inside. Here comes the 18. The 17 behind him. 2 by 2 behind him, and the Pied Piper will lead them to the line. This time it's official. Stout Whiskey wins the Farewell Series round 3 at Michigan. PTH the GOAT in second. ENEA Knockout in third. Ward Burton fourth. CGMX Rose in fifth. Honestly You're Bad sixth. KFB, Pot Pie, Amore Smoke, and Tenacious Z round out the top 10. Bama Trama, Rock NASCAR 388 giving their congratulations. Stick around for podium interviews. What a finish. At source. Back on the podium now with our top three, starting with our third place finisher, driver of the number 17 Sunny D Ford ENEA Knockout. Talk about a great race, man.
Man, that was extremely intense. This league is full of a lot of awesome drivers, um, and we just were fortunate enough to be able to get in the right lane at the end there, and pull to a third place. So we're super excited about it. After getting kind of taken, we had to restart and dead last with 20 to go, and we were able to come back to third. So I'm super pumped. Congratulations to Stout Whiskey, who was fast all night long, and he earned that one, and it was a great race, all in all.
A great point today for you, and now with tonight's silver medalist, driver of the number 18 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry PTH the GOAT, Perrin. Talk about a great points day, but wow, what a bounce back.
Oh yeah, man. First off, I wanted to say congrats to Stout Whiskey. He earned that fair and square, dude. I tried to make it pretty wide there on the backstretch, and it just didn't work out. But I'm happy to be racing in this series. So thank you. It was a whole lot of fun.
Thanks, Perrin. Congratulations on that second place finish. Our winning interview brought to you by all the good folks at di9Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use their code di9Designs on CircleBSales.com for free shipping on all your diecast and merch orders over $20. And now the winner. Driver of the number 2 Discount Tire Ford, getting the dub in a thrilling Michigan finish, Stout Whiskey. You have finished ahead of your rivals in this third round of the Farewell Series. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, Rick. Feels good, man. Especially, I had a rough first stage last week. Got taken out, and finally got the car where I was able to compete last week. But left that all behind. I knew with kind of having these 6 races to get us in the championship, it was records or checkers. Luckily enough, I'm pretty good at Michigan Auto Club for whatever reason, and was able to come out and get the job done.
Next week, we still haven't decided the race as it's drawn randomly, but can you go 2 wins in a row, 3 races, and still no repeat winner?
You better believe I'll do what it takes to win, as long as I can do it cleanly. So that's why this was, such a, I guess the most important to me was I made contact with the 3 car early on. So sorry to whoever's in the 3 car. I think it's a Town Dog or somebody. But other than that, was able to race up to the front and lead a lot of laps and, be the first one across the start-finish line.
Congratulations again, Stout. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Fans at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We cannot do these streams without you. Mama Vols, Dr. Bush, T. Lockhart. We've got Rusty Walrus, who was in here earlier. Shotgun, Barron, Ben Choate from OG showing some love. We'll see Ben Choate racing Tuesday night, 8:10 p.m. in the Modifieds on iRacing right here on Rick James TV1. Drop me a DM on Twitter. Let me know how you're doing, and let's talk some racing. Above all, fans, take care of each other. Stay safe.